Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students, here General English Language, and today is our 9th class, and we're going to cover the following topics: frequency adverbs, and we'll be having a text to read, and then we will talk a little bit about one of the most important tenses in English called past progressive tense. And then we're going to talk, we will have a kind of a list of vocabularies. Hopefully we will have enough space for them. We will start first of all with the vocabularies as usual. It's just kind of a, it's kind of a warming up class, a warming up activities. خلينا نبلش في vocabulary previewing. The first new words you have here is environment. Environment means the condition we live in, everything around us, the house, the university, the supermarkets, and whatever. These are all called the environment. We have hardships. Hardships means problems, pains in our life. Teenager, a person's age between 13 and 19 is called teenager. Contrast means a big or strong difference. Crime, just like killing or stealing. This is kind of illegal behavior. Emotions and emotions. We have love, anxiety, joy, feelings. All of these are called emotions, مشاعر. Vision, it means a picture. Volunteer, the volunteer job is a work for free. There is no payment, no money for that job. Release is a verb, and release, it means to lift things, to free them, to free things, to free people, to release someone from the jail, for example. Prepare, for example, I'm preparing myself for the final test. It means to get ready. Deliver, and this is the last one for the verbs, take things to destination. Do you remember, actually, there's a word called delivery, right? Delivery. اللي هي المستعجل. We have some adjectives right here. Famous is a well-known. Lonely, being without any people around. Tough, very hard or strong. Fun means happiness or enjoyment. Fast means quickly. And we have phrasal verb. Phrasal verb means a verb that consists of a verb and other words together. You bring the three words together to make a phrasal word. So that's why we call phrasal verbs. A phrase, it means a group of words, a group of words. Okay, let us have a kind of exercise for the previous vocabularies. The word means work for free. We said volunteer means to work for free, right? To work for free. The phrase big or strong difference means contract, contrast, and actually it's AB, right here, C. So difficulty, contrast, and similarity. So here it's called a strong, and a strong difference means a contrast. Number 3, you are, because everybody knows about you. You are sick, player, driver, famous. You're famous, and the famous person is the one who everybody knows about him or her. Number 4, a person between 13 and 19 years old is called what? Is called teenager. Teenager, the person who is between 13 and 19, his age or her age, is called teenager. In our society, a mother usually her children and prepares food. Kills? Do mother kills children? I don't think so. Goes for, takes care of, and sit out. Take care of. يعتني بي. الأطفال. The word is the closest in meaning to the word picture. We said, if you go back to the meanings of these words, you will find vision is the closest meaning to the word picture. The box is, it's not easy to break it. Heavy, tough, rough, and red. So the box is tough. Okay? Tough. Tough معناها قاسي. So, some examples of our love, feelings, and joy. شو حكينا love, feelings, and joy? We call them what? شو بنسميهم? We call them emotions. Okay? We call them emotions. مشاعر. So please do memorize all of these vocabularies and their meanings, and try to study these examples, okay? The one I have given you. Now let us move to the other major point in our class called adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. I guess that you are familiar with the adverbs of a frequency because you have taken such topics again and again in school, in high school and in other classes. I guess you are familiar with these frequencies, like always, usually, always معناها دائما, usually عادة, often, مرات, و sometimes, بعض الوقت, seldom, نادرا, وأكثر ندرة, وغير موجود على الإطلاق. All of these are called adverbs of a frequency. In today's class, we're going to talk about where can we locate the adverbs of a frequency and what are their job, their function, okay, and where can we use them. So all of these are called frequency, adverbs of a frequency. First of all, why do we use them? Why do we use the adverbs of a frequency? We use the adverbs of a frequency to ask about how often something happened. To ask about how often, okay, how often an action happened. Okay, to ask about how often an action happens. So usually take 100%. Like I mean always. Always you take a 100%. For example, I always eat. وهذه حقيقة دائمة. كل البشر دائما بأكله. Okay. I usually go to gym and often you ask about how many times you go. For example, I often go to gym twice a week. Twice a week. So often is actually related to how many times we got. So we're talking about twice. We're saying twice a week. مرتين. Let us now, we will explain and understand these adverbs of frequency by using or doing some exercises, okay? First of all, what I want you to understand the rules for these adverbs of frequency, their locations, okay? Now in this slide we're talking about the location and position of frequency adverbs in sentences. First of all, if there is only a main verb in a sentence, we put the frequency adverb immediately before it. تعرفوا شو هو المين verb اللي هو الفعل الرئيسي. لاحظوا هذه الجملة. سامي is a friend. respects always, always respects, respects never, respects sometimes. First of all, the question is, where is the main verb? هاي الخيارات، وين هو الفعل الرئيسي؟ الفعل اللي هو respects، هذا بنسميه main verb. القاعدة بتقول if there is only a main verb in a sentence, one main verb, we put the frequency adverb immediately before it، مباشرة قبليها. إذن وين هو الخيار الصحيح؟ C. سامي always respects his friends. ما بنقدر نحكي سامي respects always. ليش؟ لأنه الادverb frequency جاء بعد المين verb، هذا خطأ. أن احنا one main verb. في B أيضا خطأ لأنه never هي also adverb frequency adverb وجاءت بعد المين verb. وأيضا sometimes نفس التعليق. It has the same mistake. So if we have one main verb in a sentence, we should put the frequency verb, adverb, immediately before it. Okay? Let's go to number 2. Rule number 2 says if there is only one of the verb to be, we put the frequency adverb immediately after verb to be. احنا أخذنا الverb to be مثل is, am, are, was and were. هذا شو بنسميه؟ verb to be. هذا هو verb to be في المضارع، وهنا verb to be في الماضي. إذا كانت المين verb أو إذا استخدمنا if there's only a verb to be in the sentence, we put the frequency adverb after the verb to be. لاحظوا هذا الجملة. The students فراغ afraid of the final tests. أول شيء وين هو الجواب الصحيح؟ كل هذه الجمل محتوية على verb to be. Students جمع، verb to be جمع هي are إذا بنستبعد C وبنستبعد D لأنه من الجمع، فإما A أو B. The rule says if there is only one of the verbs to be, we put the frequency adverb immediately after it. Then the question is, the answer is this. The students are usually afraid of the final test. So we put after the verb to be. هذه خطأ لأنه frequency adverb جاء قبل. Three, if there is a helping verb and main verb in a sentence, we put the frequency adverb between the helping verb and the main verb. الhelping verbs أخذناهم اللي هي مثل verb to be أو verb to have. Verb to be أو verb to have. Our doctor فراغ his mobile. الآن إذا كان في عندنا helping verb و main verb، الفrequency verb لازم تيجي ما بينهم. لاحظوا A has switched off rarely، هذا عبارة عن helping verb switched off main verb، لكن هي خطأ لأنه rarely جاءت في الأخير. Rarely has switched off. Has switched off حكينا helping verb main verb frequency verb في الأخير، إذن هي خطأ. Has rarely switched off، هذا helping verb، هنا main verb و frequency verb جاء ما بينهم، هذه الجملة صحيحة. Because the rule says if there is a helping verb and a main verb, the frequency verb adverb لازم يجي ما بينهم. Okay? 4. In case of a question, we just replace the subject with a helping verb. The doctor has never disappointed in any student. Has never disappointed any student. الآن has a doctor ever disappointed any student? So in case of this question, we just replace the subject with a helping verb. هذا ما أخذنا how to form a question. لاحظوا هذه الجملة اللي صار إنه فقط we replace يعني استبدال أماكن. Has a doctor ever disappointed any students? And you know, you need to know that in questions we have to change never into ever. هاي لازم تنتبهوا لها. In questions we need to change never into ever. Okay, here we have a short exercise. My friend is very clever. He passes the test. He always passes the test because he's clever, ذكي. Sometimes هو بعض الوقت never مطلقا seldom نادرا. My friend is very clever. He fails the test. Well, this is a joke. He fails. Fails معناها يرسب. He never fails the test. So this is kind of a joke. Okay? Number 3. A snake. No, I haven't. Have you seen ever? Have you seen never? Have you seen? Have you ever seen? Have you never seen? حكينا إنه أول شيء لازم نفهمه إنه we can't use never in a questions. We use ever in a question, صح؟ فإذا نستبعد C ونستبعد D. And the rule says that if we have a helping verb and a main verb, the frequency adverb should come between the helping verb and the main verb. لازم تيجي ما بين الفعل المساعد والفعل الرئيسي. لاحظوا هذه جاءت، هذا هو الفعل المساعد وهذا هو الفعل الرئيسي، والفريكونسي adverb جاء في النهاية إذا خطأ. لماذا؟ لازم يجي ما بينهم. لاحظوا have you ever seen؟ هذا helping verb in a main verb. So here's kind of a short, you know, the position of these two adverbs as before the main verb. هذا أكثر شيء لازم يعني تنتبهوا إليه. Before the main verb حكينا I always get up at 6:45. Ali can usually play football. لاحظوا usually جاء ما بين helping verb و main verb. Mandy has sometimes got. هذول الاثنين هنا helping verb وهذول الاثنين هم main verb. فجاء الفريكونسي جاءت ما قبلهم. بينما في إذا كان في الجملة main verb واحد بدون helping verb يأتي من قبله. أما إذا كان بعد verb to be هو main verb في sentence, it should come after the verb to be. وهذه بعض الأمثلة اللي ممكن تقتدوا فيها. Okay. Ali always plays the tense. She usually eats some chocolate. She often goes shopping. He's sometimes late for work. Ali hardly ever travels by cars. He never smokes a cigarette. So if you look at the frequency verbs, all of them, they either come before the main verb or between the helping verb and the main verb or after the verb to be. Okay, after we have covered the vocabulary and the adverb or frequency adverbs, let us move now to the reading section and let us read together this passage, which you can find it on page 128 في صفحة 128 تجدوها. خلينا نقرأ. Some people go to work each day and then come home. They spend time with their family and friends. Maybe they watch TV or go to a movie. Sometimes they exercise or read. This is their life. But for other people, this is not enough. They look around their neighborhoods and see people with terrible hardships, sickness, loneliness, and homelessness. Other people see problems with the environment. Many people want to help. They volunteer. They give some of their time to help others. Volunteers help in many ways. Some visit sick and lonely people. Some give their friendship to the children without parents. Some build houses for homeless people. So basically, here it talks about the volunteer jobs. What these voluntary people do for other people, for other weak people. So it gives us kind of peoples. Some people, they like to watch TVs. Others, they like only to exercise and read. And others, they give a help for the weak people. The most suitable topic for the passage is homelessness, hardships, volunteering, sickness. So it was talking about the volunteering job, what the voluntary people do for the weak job. The underlined word exercise mean building houses, practice sports, question or test. It actually practice sports. This is what I mean by exercise. It's an example of hardship, volunteering, neighborhood, environment, homelessness. homelessness اللي هي التشرد، أن يكون الإنسان مشردا without a house، من غير أن يكون له مأوى. Why do people give some of their time to others? To earn much money, to know the time, to help them, to watch TV. Why we give our time to others? Because we want to help them. The underlined pronoun there, right here, refers to volunteers help in many ways. Some visit sick and lonely people, some give their friendship. So it refers to all volunteers. To all volunteers. Is the closest meaning to phrase work for free. Work for free أخذناها في الكلمات اللي هي معناتها volunteer. So we have covered now the reading section. It was very simple, easy, right? كانت سهلة جدا عن العمل التطوعي. Finally, we're going to talk about the passive progressive and the past progressive, okay? First of all, the simple past. We've talked about the simple past in the last few lectures, right? And we said that we use the simple past to indicate exactly when an action or event took place in the past. لاحظوا في هذا الدياجرام شيء حدث في الماضي وانتهى في الماضي. احنا هنا now. هذا future. لكن الماضي فيه هو موجود هنا. فشيء حدث في الماضي وانتهى في الماضي. مثلا I visited my sister yesterday. وحكينا إنه yesterday هي من العلامات على إنه الجملة في الماضي. We went out to dinner last night. برضو last night هي علامة تأتي في الجمل في الماضي. لاحظنا إنه في هناك شكلين للفعل. شكل ينتهي في ED وهذا بنسميه الفعل المنتظم regular verb، والفعل ينتهي في شكل مختلف ما نضيف له ED. هذه went هي ماضي من go. هذا بنسميه irregular verbs. حنحكي عن الregular والirregular verbs, and I will provide you with a list of the most common irregular verbs. أما الpassive progressive. The passive progressive is used to talk about an activity that was in progress at a specific point of time in the past. The emphasis is on the duration of the activity in the past. For example, I was studying for an exam while my mother was cooking dinner. I was studying for an exam while my mother was cooking dinner. So here we have two actions in progress in the past. اثنيناتهم في الماضي. We were walking in the park around 7 p.m. last night. لاحظوا الباسيف بروجريسيف بيختلف عن الباست إنه في هناك وقت معين لحدوث الحدث. We were walking in the park around 7 p.m. last night. أعطاك وقت, specific point of time in the past. For example, I was calling you last night at 7 o'clock. I was calling you at 7 o'clock. You say, I was sleeping at 7. فهذه بنحكي عن شيء حدث في وقت معين في الماضي. The passive progressive is often used with the simple past to show that one action was in progress when another action occurred. So في حدثين كان عندنا في الماضي, إنه حدث صار لما صار حدث بنفس الوقت, يعني لما كان. So we have two actions. One action was in progress مستمر, و another action occurred. فكان في حدث مستمر, وخلال هذا الحدث حدث آخر. مثلا, I was taking a bath when the door rang. When the doorbell rang, I was taking the bath. الآن وين هو الحدث اللي كان في progress؟ اللي هو كان I was taking a bath. وين الحدث اللي حدث في خلال الحدث الأول؟ اللي هو the doorbell rang. مثلا, they were eating dinner when the neighbors stopped by for a visit. فلاحظوا الفعل اللي بيكون in progress, the action, the one action which is in the progress, we should use the passive progressive with it. أما الحدث الآخر اللي حدث during the first action, we use the simple past. So here we started in the past and it continues to another time in the past, a specific point of time also in the past. Right here we have kind of activities. I want you to do it. Let me just do one or two of them. We saw an accident while we were going to university. While we going to university, we saw an accident. So هذا simple past من C, وهنا لازم نستخدم اللي هو ال past progressive. ال passive progressive اللي هو شكله هذا هو. Verb to be plus ing. Where going. When it was raining heavily. هنا عندنا past progressive لازم يجي الشطر الآخر simple past. When he arrived, it was raining heavily. طب مين هو الحدث الأول؟ إنه كانت هي تمطر في البداية, فاستخدمنا فيها ال passive progressive. So the action which is in progress is when it was raining. When it was raining, he arrived. As the children in the park, someone fell down. As the children were playing in the park, someone fell down. لاحظوا أيضا هذا, the first action was in progress and the other occurred during that first action. Okay, I will leave the adverbs of frequency for you. Please just do it by yourself. Try to follow the rules that I have given you for the adverbs of frequency, and here's kind of a chart for you. You can it's just a kind of a summary for you to understand how often do we do something. Okay, how often do we do something? For here, I'm going to stop. We've covered first of all a list of vocabularies, adverbs of frequency, and a short look at the passive progressive. And we said the passive progressive, it talks about an accident happened in the past and a specific time in the past, a point of time in the past, while something else occurred during that first action. For here, thank you so much for listening. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.